Oh, and good morning. It's Greg Harriman again, coming to you from Crypto Corner, where it's pretty much the Wild West. And we're starting to see a little bit of that. Is the ETF going to be approved? Is the SEC going to get it right? A lot of different things going on. But overall, we've been predicting for like the last 2 months that there would be a pullback right before we start going into the bull run. And that's where we feel we're really at. So what we're hoping is that you stay and watch the whole video, you crush the like button, that you get people to subscribe. That's been awesome. We've been growing. I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate the comments. We did some things based on the comments with Jasmine and a few other coins, so that and just keep letting us know, because what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're giving you what you want. Otherwise, then, I don't listen to channels that don't kind of give me what I want. And so let's now go into, if you're new, this is our philosophy. I don't spend a lot of time on it anymore. You can go back through other videos and see it. But we do think that we want to be safe, which is buying safer coins. We do have some risk in our management. You'll see that. We want to be secure, so we're using Coinbase mostly. But you have to decide what is right for you. And some of these coins that we will talk about cannot just be found on Coinbase. And then we want to be able to sleep at night. We don't want to be up going, oh, I don't know if my crypto's going up or down or doing. We kind of know what we think we're seeing, and so far we've been able to prove that out as we've gone along. So, all right, with that, this is my favorite page. I have updated it this time for a far right column. And in that far right column, you'll see how many of these coins from our initial time have made it into the 200% club. So, we've got Solana, which we had bought all the way back at 19, and you can see that's at almost 500 or five times. You can see that Super, which is at 50 cents, was as high as 75. That's over 300%. And Render is over 200%. And STX is now over 200, almost 300%. We do have some Jasmine, uh, Veracity, and Atom, which are right at about break even. And when I did this calculation, I went conservative. You're going to find that all the time when you're wondering if I'm doing something, am I being aggressive or conservative? Almost always I will be conservative. If I'm not, I'll certainly let you know. But what I did was I took today's price right in the middle where the arrows are, and we'll use Atom as our number. It's at 962. Then I divided that by the top dollar for our buy range. So we know that that's $10 based on this, which would mean we're not at quite even. Now, the difference here is that we've been buying Atom all the way as it went all the way down into 7 and 6. So we know that our cost basis is less than that, but I would rather be conservative, because these are the numbers 6, 7 months ago that we looked at and said, we want to go from point A to point B, and can we get there? And now we know, just even last week, this was at 1018. At 1018, we would be over that 100%. So that's how I calculated it. Hopefully you're following along. We know that, or we feel that we have the right strategy, moving in the right direction at the right time. You'll see it in the depression phase, going into disbelief. You'll see it in how we put all of the total dollar amounts that we want to spend. Whether you have a $500 portfolio or $1,000 portfolio or a $10,000 portfolio, you should have it all based on how much do you have in each of the groups, how much are you willing to risk, how much are you willing to hold on to for the long term. And I have a lot of people that are writing to me now saying, look, I just want to put stuff in long term. I like that about yours more than I like it about some other people's, where they go, you're going to get, 1,000x on your money. You also could lose all of that. In my opinion, Dot, Atom, Solana, Bitcoin, ETH, they're not going anywhere. You might not get all the returns that you want, but they're not going anywhere. So And then, these bottom ones, Veracity, Super, Render, Gala, they'll give you a little more bang for your buck possibly, but they also have more risk. And again, you'll see that later. Jasmine is a good example of it's in a couple of our risk factors, but we don't mind that. We know that there's risk involved with that. While we have 65% of our money in non-risk, the atoms and the dots of the world, where we're getting 11% staking on Coinbase on those two. Even though just recently what we did was we on staked it so that we could sell at these higher levels that we were just at. We only staked 75% of what we were doing, and now we took the other 25% and we sold it. You can see it up here in the comments. We sold at 866 on dot, and we started buying back in under 7. So a dollar plus per coin we're gaining in that transaction. And we hope that you're following along with that. We hope that you're doing the same thing. We think that, again, you'll see in the very end, that's farming. We want to farm. We want to be diversified. We want to make sure that you guys are making 2 to 3 times your money in this next run. The last thing I'll say about this is the sell range. This was predicted 7 months ago. So this sell range is where we thought everything could be. Now that we've got 7 months more data under our belt, we're going to go back through and we're going to update these numbers. A good example is dot. We no longer believe it's going to be 10 to 12. We believe that's a minimum of 15 to 20. Atom, we no longer believe will be 7 to 20. We believe that's going to be more 20 to 25. And that doesn't mean that it won't go higher than that. It just means that's where our range is, that we could say, look, we want to take out our initial investment. We want to take out a percentage so that during the bull run, we hit the numbers that we're trying to hit. A lot of times, what I found in the last bull run is people watched it go all the way up and they watched it come all the way back down. We're not going to do that. We're going to take profits as we go. I introduced this chart a couple weeks ago. The thought process here is a lot of people were writing to me saying, "Hey, what about more coins than just that one sheet?" And so you can see the yellow is stuff that's on the original sheet, and then I added some more. These are just for you to go do your homework and look at. I think that there's some good risk coins in here. There's some there's and 1 to 5, you can see a risk column that I put in here, and 1 is safe, 5 is not. So 5, like Rose, we think it's, even though we think it's fairly safe, we know that it's a layer 1 that could get bumped or bought out or some other thing. So we kept it at a 5. Um, Whereas ETH, we obviously is a 1, where it's not going anywhere. So you can take a look at this, start looking through and saying, how are you diversified? How are you making your portfolio what you want it? Not what Greg Harriman wants, but what you want it. And again, none of this is financial advice. It's all telling you this is just what I'm looking at. These would be some that I would add into my group. Then this is partly where Jasmine came from. And we believe that over time, we can change our mind. We can change our narrative depending on what narrative is hot. As we go into the bull run, I believe gaming is going to go be the highest one. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these are gaming. So what I'm doing is saying, look, they may not be running right now, but as we go into the bull run, I think gaming will be and Web3 will be the top. Might as well be looking at those coins. This is where we were talking a little earlier about, the 65. You see that in the blue, the 6.5, the orange is 20. You can see that different coins can make it into different categories. I put this in the upper left-hand corner, put together, if I had $1,000, what would I put it in? And then I listed out 65% of it would be in Atom, Sol, Bitcoin, ETH, and QNT. Those are the ones that I would put 650 of the 1,000 into. And then the layer 1's the speculative, then the high risk. And that high risk, that $50, say I just mentioned Jasmine and I really like Jasmine, but at this point I can only have the 20 and the 10. So that's $300 that I could put out of the thousand. That's all I could put into Jasmine right now on $1,000 portfolio. The difference is I like other coins as well, and I want diversification. So I really can't put that 300, but that would be the max. So again, we had Super in here that did a great job for us as a risk. We made 5 times our money. We bought around 10 cents, sold around 50 cents. And then all that did was pump up all these other bags. So that $1,000 portfolio went to 1,500. Now out of the 1,500, I can add more to the 20 and the 10. But right now we're just keeping this as our example as the $1,000. But as it goes up, you should change that thousand to whatever the new number is and then make everything proportional. So if it was 2,000, the 650 would be 1,300. The 200 would be 400. Now you can maybe buy more Jasmine as you go, and stay within the reins of your portfolio. So also, when we look at this, over on the right hand side, we have cash from selling STX, Render, Dot, Super, all of those that we sold as we went. If you went back to that first page, you'll see a bunch of sold. Why did we sell? We're buying because we think it's going up. We're selling because we think there might be a correction. Right now, we believe there's a correction. For the last 5 weeks, we've been saying, and it was still going up. So, did we hit the very top? Nope. Did we hit the bottom? Nope. What we did was we said, we think as it goes up, we want to sell into that. And then as it comes back down, we're going to buy as we go. So each week we're buying. So you'll see what we bought. Last week we had bought IMX in this 5%, but now I'm kind of out of that 5% money. I've got all of that allocated. So I would have to sell, or I'd have to sell something else that would create my $1,000 going to 1,500 or 1,200 that would allow me more things to buy in here. And right now we're buying more Jasmine, Dot, Atom. Why? Because we feel like they've come back down. We've been farming those from the very beginning. And if you don't know what farming is, go look it up. But a quick 2-second deal on it is you go from having 100 coins, you sell them, you sell them, you bought them at 8, you sold them at 10, you now buy them back at 8, you can buy 20% more coins than you had before. And then you're just accumulating. So you have more coins for the overall run. So that's really what we're doing there. Lastly, we know that I'm listing out farming, staking, accumulating, diversification. I list out where in each group we're doing this, and then the fact that we still believe um, we're in the disbelief depression phase. So as we come through both of these together, the depression phase is like, man, it just never seems like it's going to be we're going to get there. But then the disbelief is we don't know whether we should start buying because maybe it's not going to go up the way I think, or maybe it's not going to be as good as I think. We have to stop thinking that. We have to say, what do we think it started at? Where do we think it'll end? And then where do we go from there? So hopefully you liked the video. Ran a little longer than I wanted to today, but I think it's important. I think that you're awesome. Please continue to hit the like button. If you like what we're doing, please give me more and more comments. And thank you for watching. This is Greg Harriman signing out from Crypto Corner.